Recently, whilst aimlessly driving through Derbyshire, I became aware of an unexpected increase in numbers and types of vehicles, and, wondering about the reason, I decided to follow this motoring throng. We soon arrived at a signpost which told me roughly where we were now heading, while a nearby temporary placard explained the reason for this heavier than expected traffic. Having nothing better to occupy my time, I decided to join my newfound friends and observe their brand of merrymaking. Some of the local inhabitants also showed interest in what might be taking place and discussed the matter in hushed tones, but not all was in entire agreement. It seemed that this was going to be a popular event, and the car park was filling up rapidly with old cars, new cars, and even older cars. Britons are known the world over for their love of animals, and it was heartwarming to see this being amply demonstrated here, with proud owners competing to show just how well they looked after their furry friends. Of course, last year's models were now out of favour, and while still invited, they were presented in a slightly different manner, being served hot on a plate. Food was an essential here, as most people were undernourished and required building up to face the rigours of the day. Pets also had to be distracted by treats in order to prevent them running amok and precipitating a mad panic amongst the live exhibits. I don't know how much truth there is in this, but I did hear it said that at an event such as this it was best to be either a horse or a human child, as neither tastes very nice, and are therefore left pretty much to their own devices, which, in the case of a human child, almost always seem to involve a degree of energetic violence one way or the other. It would appear that most men were expected to become somewhat inebriated, as the toilets were thoughtfully inclined to aid aiming miscalculations. The hand-washing facilities were also first class. I wasn't too impressed with the modern art section of the exhibition. There just seemed to be a lot of different sized wheels and belts going round and round endlessly without any result. But I was taken with the imagination of the creator of the mechanical dinosaur feeding from a trough. I was pleased to see that the cloakroom facilities were well used, and that the left luggage office had a strong police presence to deter wrongdoers. Over in a distant part of the site, preparations were being made for what I understood to be a competitive event, where the winner would be the dog that could catch and eat the most sheep in what appeared to be a set time of about 2 hours per contestant. This wasn't strictly very fair at all, because each dog had a bad-tempered whistling human helper, seemingly pretending to be a scarecrow, but secretly telling the dog what the sheep were going to do next, whilst the sheep didn't appear to have any help at all, other than the small fenced enclosures, which, if they entered, guaranteed their safety, at least until next year, that is, when they might be allowed to turn up again, this time maybe to be complimented on their taste.
They were all right last year, Bob, but it weren't there last year.
As always, there was one self-appointed individual trying to organise things to his own advantage.
But a lame, it's a long way, walk from that cross to that pen. Yeah. Because if you remember, you know when you stood at your post? Yeah. You had a job to see that drive gate.
But he was soon put down by the neutral observer hidden in a nearby hut.
I never realised we got so many posers on the committee.
Who very quickly came to regret his temerity.
In a straight line, dead straight line, is smack under that thorn bush. Just you sit on that chair.
Finally, the main event of the day commenced, and men and dogs were made fools of by sheep getting their own back, pretending not to understand what was required of them.